let's talk about some more events. So we've been working with a click event mainly. We've been clicking on things on our program. An event is just something the user can do to interact with your program. And so right now, all of our projects have been a lot of clicking, as it's usually the main events, the main thing the user does with a program. The list of events are located in this orange yellow lightning bolt. So as you can see, yes, the familiar click events, but look at all of these other events. These are all the things the user can do with our programs. Now, obviously we can't go through them all, but maybe if we talk about a couple new ones, you'll kind of get the idea of how they work. And they're pretty descriptive. So for example, I have two labels. Let's say I wanted to add an event to this bottom label that says hover over me. So I'm going to make sure I have that label selected. I can see the LBL hover. And I don't want to click on the label. That's old news. Let's try a new event. Let's try a mouse enter event. So a mouse enter event is kind of like hovering. This event occurs when I put my mouse over the label. So you can see my mouse tick, 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 tick. And as soon as it goes over the label, the mouse has entered the label, and therefore I can write some code for something to happen. So let's see how this works. I still have this label selected. I'm going to double click the mouse enter event, and this will add a mouse enter event for this particular label. Now I have to decide, well, what do I want to happen? And to keep things fresh, I know we've done a lot with visibility. We've changed the text property. I want to change the color of this label. So when I hover over this text, this label, I want the color of this text to change. So how could I do that? Well, let's go back into the code. When I enter this hover label, I want to change the color of this label. Color is one of the properties that I can change. Although it's not called color, it's called forecolor. So remember, I can change all of these properties. Today I'm going to change the forecolor. This will change the color of my text. So when I hover over the hover over me label, I want to change my other text. Which property do I want to change? Well, I want to change the forecolor. And the IntelliSense kicks in and basically tells you how to finish this code. Now I can use my brain here, and I can see that, okay, which color do I want to change it to? Well, I don't want to change it to white. Maybe let's change it to green. And there, I have given some code for this event to activate. So let's see how this works. My mouse, as soon as I hover over that label that I attached the event to, it made the other label green. In other words, this code just fired off. I'll show you one more time. Not that you need to see. So as soon as I hover, the event executes, and whatever code I had in that event happens. Now, if you see how these events work, maybe we can add another one. So I'm still adding an event to the hover over me label. This time I'm going to do the opposite. I'm not going to do a mouse enter. I'm going to do a mouse leave. So I'm going to add a mouse leave event to this label. And when my mouse leaves this hover or this hover text, I want to change the color once again. So I'm changing the label text color, which is the forecolor property. And the IntelliSense is wanting me to go with red, but I'm going to go back to black. So let's see how these two events work together. I enter, the color changes. In other words, the mouse enter event has fired. And when my mouse leaves the label, that event fires off and the color changes to black. Hover, enter, leave, enter, leave, enter, leave. So you can see these two events kind of create this highlight effect. So hopefully that's not too complicated, and hopefully you can now theoretically add any events to any program you create. Now, some of these events are a little confusing and some are more self-explanatory. So that's how you add events to any of your controls on your program.